Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Dandavat Pranam Mataji.
Hare Krishna. Dandavat Pranam. Okay. Shall we wait for other participants to join?
I just post a message in the WhatsApp, Mataji, if that helps.
Okay, fine,
Yeah.
fine.
Okay.
Hare Krishna. I think we'll start. Okay. Om Ajnana-timirandasya Jnananjana-shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupaya Kadamahyam Dadanti Swapadantikam Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namine Namaste Saraswate Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisesha Shunyavadi Paschata Deshatarine Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shrivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Welcome you all to the second day of advanced level class. Hare Krishna. Somebody please volunteer to read. Hare Krishna, Guneshri Mataji, you wanted to say something to the participants before we
Yes,
start?
Mataji. I mean, say like if we could have two volunteers who could be part of the maintain the attendance out there.
Yesterday, I think Mihir, he volunteered to do the attendance, Mataji. Today, he didn't join yet.
No, Mihir just apologized that he could not join today, Mataji, when I called up.
Okay.
He just informed that only today he's not able to join because of some personal work.
I think Amit has taken volunteer to call up the devotees. Amit, how successful you were? Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Amit. Okay. Yesterday he texted me some problem with his mic and all. I don't know.
Okay.
Yes, Mataji, you can say.
Yeah, Mataji, I'll just post the link and if Amit is okay, then I can coordinate with Amit and Mihir. So one of them can take.
Okay, I think for today Amit will take. Hare Krishna, will you do it, Amit? Oh. No issue, Mataji. I'll keep you updated regarding the attendance. I think you can post the attendance form in the chat box so that whoever is attending will fill up that.
Sure, Mataji.
Yeah. Hare Krishna.
Yeah, Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Hare Krishna. Yes, I think somebody can volunteer to read the sloka. We will continue as we have discussed yesterday.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Kritika. Yes.
Arjuna Uvacha Senayor Ubhayormadhe Ratham Sthapaye Mechata Yadav Etan Niriksheaham Yodhu Kama Navasthitan Kairmaya Saha Bodhavyam Asmin Ranasamudyame.
Yeah. Arjuna Uvacha Senayorubayormadhye Ratan Stapayamechyuta. Okay. Yad etaniriksheham yodukamanavastitan Kermaya saha yodhavyam asmin rana samudyame. Got it? It has to come in a flow. You have recited well, but it has to be sung like a song. Okay? Yes. Yes. I wanted you to read the translation part also.
Yes, Mataji. Translation. Arjuna said, O infallible one, please draw my chariot between the two armies, so that I may see those present here who desire to fight and with whom I must contend in this great trial of arms.
Yeah, I can read the first paragraph of Puppet also.
But although Lord Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, out of his causeless mercy, he was engaged in the service of his friend. He never fails in his affection for his devotees, and thus he is addressed herein as infallible. As charioteer, he had to carry out the orders of Arjuna, and since he did not hesitate to do so, he is addressed as infallible. Although he had accepted the position of his charioteer for his devotee, his supreme position was not challenged. In all circumstances, he is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Rishikesh, the Lord of total senses. The relationship between the Lord and his servitor is very sweet and transcendental. The servitor is always ready to render service to the Lord, and similarly, the Lord is always seeking an opportunity to render some service to the devotee. He takes greater pleasure in his pure devotees assuming the advantageous position of ordering him that he does in being the giver of orders. Since he is master, everyone is under his orders, and no one is above him to order him. But when he finds that a pure devotee is ordering him, he obtains transcendental pleasure, although he is the infallible master in all circumstances. Shall I continue?
Yes, continue.
As a pure devotee of the Lord, Arjuna had no desire to fight with his cousins and brothers, but he was forced to come on the battlefield by the obstinacy of Duryodhana, who was never agreeable to any peaceful negotiation. Therefore, he was very anxious to see who the leading persons present on the battlefield were. Although there was no question of a peacemaking endeavor on the battlefield, he wanted to see them again and to see how much they were bent upon demanding an unwanted war.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
So this particular sloka 21 and 22 says, like, here Arjuna is saying to Lord Krishna, draw my chariot between both the armies, the Kauravas and Pandavas, and I wanted to see exactly the people who are present in the battlefield, whom have to fight and all. So here Lord Krishna is the charioteer for Arjuna. On a friendly note, he feels to help him out. At the same time, on a devotional level, whenever a pure devotee is there, Lord will not leave any opportunity to serve the devotees. Okay, so he's always kind enough, looking for the opportunity. When a pure devotee will come to me, when will I get an opportunity to serve those devotee? So the only step is that we have to take a forward step towards Krishna and engage ourselves in a devotional service. So is Arjuna, who's a pure devotee and who has taken the shelter of Lord Krishna. Upon asking a request, he will take him between both the armies, and he will see. Then he will ask Lord Krishna, who are all there, whom I have to fight with. Can you please tell me the list? Okay. As we have discussed in yesterday class, Arjuna has no desire to fight because he don't want to fight against his own brothers. But Duryodhana, who is owning the property and the kingdom, he is very adamant that he is not agreeing for any peace negotiation, and he wanted a war at any cost. Next, please somebody volunteer to read this. I'll help you in the sloka recitation, no problem. Arpita? Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Arpita, are you there? Somebody else? Ishan, hope you joined today. Welcome to the class. Will you please volunteer to read it? Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Krishna, Mataji.
Do you know the recitation or shall I help you out?
Yes, Mataji, please help.
Yeah. योत्स्यमानम् अवेक्सेऽहम्
योत्समाहन् अवेक्ष्याम
या
ये
एतेऽत्र समागता
एते तत्र समागता
धातराष्ट्र.
धृतराष्ट्र
Yes, please continue.
धातराष्ट्र
दुर्बुद्धेर्
दुर्बुद्धर येते प्रिय
चिकीर्षवा.
चिकित्सा.
Yeah, Hare Krishna. You can read the translation and purport.
Let me see those who have come here to fight, wishing to please the evil-minded son of Dhritarashtra. It
Yes.
was an open secret of that Dhritarashtra Duryodhana wanted to usurp the kingdom of the Pandavas by evil plan in collaboration with his father Dhritarashtra. Therefore, all persons who had joined the side of Duryodhana must have been birds of the same feather. Arjuna wanted to see them on the battlefield before the fight was begun, just to learn who they were, but he had no intention of purposing peace negotiations with them. It, it was also a fact that he wanted to see them to make a est- estimate of the strength which he had to face. Although he was quite confident of victory, because Krishna was sitting by his side.
Yeah. What did you understand by this? It's very easy, no? What did you understand by this purport? Can you please tell me? Hare Krishna. Ishan?
Yes, Mataji.
Yeah. What did you understand by reading this purport?
I did concentrate on this.
Okay. Here, Arjuna is asking, like, let me see, like, whom with whom I have to fight. Okay. And who have come to please the evil-minded son of Dhritarashtra, that is Duryodhana. He wanted to assess the people who have come on part, that is, who's participating on the Duryodhana side, and he wanted to assess what exactly, how valorous are the people who are on the opposite side. He wanted to have a rough estimate to know the strength of the opposite army. Okay, but somewhere Arjuna was confident enough because Krishna is with him. Okay, got it?
Yes, Mataji.
Yeah, Hare Krishna. Next, Arpita, are you ready? Hare Krishna, Arpita. Hare Krishna. Okay, I think Kritika, you can read this one. Meanwhile,
Okay, Mataji. Bhagavad Gita 1.24 Sanjay Uvacha Evamukto Rishikesho Gudakeshena Bharata Seno Yorubhayormadhe Sthapayitva Rathottamam.
yeah, very nice, very well
Translation.
recited. I can read the translation and purport.
Translation. Sanjay said, O descendant of Bharat, having thus been addressed by Arjuna, Lord Krishna drew up the fine chariot in the midst of the armies of both parties. Purport. In this verse, Arjuna is referred to as Gudakesh. Guda means sleep, and one who conquers the sleep is called Gudakesh. Sleep also means ignorance. So, Arjuna conquered both sleep and ignorance because of his friendship with Krishna. As a great devotee of Krishna, he could not forget Krishna even for a moment because that is the nature of devotee. either in walking or in sleep, a devotee of the Lord can never be free from thinking of Krishna's name, form, qualities, and pastimes. Thus, a devotee of Krishna can conquer both sleep and ignorance simply by thinking of Krishna constantly. This is called Krishna consciousness or Samadhi. As Rishikesh, or the director of the senses and mind of every living entity, Krishna could understand Arjuna's purpose in placing the chariot in the midst of the armies. Thus, he did so and spoke as follows. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. What did you understand by this?
We should always think of Krishna. The devotees of Krishna are always engaged in thinking of him, and by thinking of Krishna, we can purify ourselves.
Yeah, very well said. So here Sanjay is saying,
And
yeah,
we get controlled.
please, ma, continue. Okay. So here Sanjay is saying, oh, descendant of Bharata, that is Arjuna having this address by Arjuna. So Krishna will draw up the chariot between both the armies. Here, Gudakesha, yesterday we have, we read a table, if you all remember, where Gudakesha means Arjuna, means a person who has conquered the sleep. Okay. So, and how he could conquer the sleep because of his friendship friendship with Lord Krishna. So the great devotees of Krishna will not forget Krishna even for a moment, and all their senses, mind, intelligence, false ego, everything is been engaged in glorifying Krishna and doing the service for Krishna. That is called as Krishna consciousness or Samadhi. So Rishikesha means again here Krishna. Okay, he's the one who control all the senses and mind, everything. So now Krishna could understand Arjuna's purpose in placing the chariot in between both the armies. So next comes the other conversation. Hare Krishna. Yeah, who wanted to read this? Hare Krishna. Arpita, are you there? Please unmute, ma. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Amit, you can try, no? Hare Krishna. It becomes difficult if you people don't unmute it. That is the reason why I don't want to go for the PowerPoint presentations. I'll be keep on telling the presentations and you can, there is no interaction. Okay, you don't learn like that. Hare Krishna. Yeah, I think we don't have any choice except for going between the you two people. Ishan, please volunteer again, ma, to read this.
Yes, Mataji.
Yeah. Can try on your own. I think you did well last time.
Bhisma Drona in Rama Ramukat.
Bhishma Drona Pramukhata.
Sarvesam Incha Pistam Upacha Partha
Pashyaitan.
Pasyetam Samabhetam Puran Iti.
See, whenever you get this a line about this letter, you know, that is a badiya. Kshitam, Kshitan, Samavetan, and Kurun. Got it? Bhishma. Okay?
Okay, Mataji.
Yeah. Next, you can read the translation in purport.
In this presence of Bhisma Drona and all other chieftains of the world, the Lord said, just behold Parth, or all the Kurus assembled here. Purport. As the super soul of living entities, Lord Krishna could understand what was going on in the mind of Arjuna. The use of the word Rishikesha in this connection indicates that he knew everything, and the word Partha, meaning the son of Partha or Kunti, is also similarly significant is reference to Arjuna. As a friend, he wanted to inform Arjuna that because Arjuna was the son of Partha, the sister of his own father Vasudeva, he had he had agreed to be the charioteer of Arjuna. Now, what did Krishna mean when he told Arjuna to behold the Kurus? Did Arjuna want to stop there and not fight? Krishna never expected such things from the son of his aunt Partha. The mind of Arjuna was thus predicted by Lord's friendly joking.
So could you understand anything? Isha?
Yes, Mataji.
Yes, please. Okay, what did you understand?
Mm, sorry, Mataji. Please
Okay.
tell.
Yeah, please. Okay, so the super soul of every all living entities is Lord Krishna, isn't it? He is just Rishikesha. That means he has control over all the senses. Now he is analyzing the situation, the mind of Arjuna, what exactly is going on in his mind when he got him in between a place between both the armies, and he's observing that. So why did he agree to help him as a charioteer? Because he is a maternal uncle again. He is related to the mother of Arjuna. Okay. And above all that, Arjuna is a pure devotee of Lord Krishna. Now he is reading like what exactly is happening in his mind. Next. Yes. Somebody please volunteer again. Hare Krishna. Kritika, please.
Yes, Mataji. Tatra
Yeah.
तत्र पश्य स्थितान् पार्थः पितॄनधः पितामहान् आचार्यान् मातुलान् भ्रातॄन् पुत्रान् पौत्रान् सखींस्तथा श्वशुरान् सुहृदश्चैव सेनयोरुभयोरपि.
Translation.
Translation. The Arjuna could see within the midst of the armies both the parties, his fathers, grandfathers, teachers, maternal uncles, brothers, sons, grandsons, friends, and also his fathers-in-law and well-wishers. But on the battlefield, Arjun could see all kinds of relatives. He could see the persons like Bhurishrava, who were his father's contemporaries, grandfathers Bhishma and Sandatta, teachers like Dronacharya and Kripacharya, maternal uncles like Shalya and Shakuni, brothers like Duryodhana and sons like Lakshmana, friends like Ashwathama, well-wishers like Kritavarma, etc. He could see also the armies which contained many of his friends.
Hare Krishna. So he is able to see all the grandfathers, great grandfathers, teachers, uncles, all the extended family members, isn't it? Yeah.
Yes, Mataji.
Yeah. Ishan, now it's your turn again.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Tan Samis Samiksa Sa Kon Kundaya
Yeah.
Sarvan
Bandhun.
Sarva Bandhun Abhisekam.
Yes. Avastithan.
Avasitan, Avasitan, Karpaya, Paraya, Hito, Isto, Visadan, Idam, Abravit.
Yeah.
Translation: when the son of Kunti, Arjuna, saw all these different grades of friends and relatives overwhelmed with the compassion and spoke thus.
Yeah. So can you, I think this is a very simple translation. Now you can tell me what exactly you have read now.
The son of Kunti means Arjuna, saw all the different grades of friends and relatives,
Yes.
and he became compassionate over them.
Yeah. Compassionate means?
Means the daya.
Yes, exactly. Very good. Very good, Ma. Very good attempt. Yes, Kritika, again, it's your turn.
Yes, Mataji. Mataji, I'm unable to see the screen. Yeah. Arjuna Uvacha.
Mm,
Yes, sir. दृष्ट्वैमं स्वजनं कृष्ण युयुत्सं सुमपस्थितं सीदन्ति मम गात्राणि मुखं च परिशुष्यति. Translation: Arjun said, "My dear Krishna, seeing my friends and relatives present before me in such a fighting spirit, I feel the limbs of my body quivering and my mouth drying up. But any man who has genuine devotion to the Lord has all the good qualities which are found in godly persons or in the demigods, whereas the non-devotees, however advanced he may be in material qualification, by education and culture, lacks in godly qualities. As such, Arjuna, just after seeing his kinsmen, friends, and relatives on the battlefield, was at once overwhelmed by compassion for them who had so decided to fight amongst themselves. As far as its soldiers were concerned, he was sympathetic from the beginning, but he felt compassion even for soldiers of the opposite party, foreseeing their imminent death. And while he was so thinking, the limbs of his body began to quiver and his mouth became dry. He was more or less astonished to see their fighting spirit. Partially, the whole community, all blood relatives of Arjun, had come to fight with him. This overwhelmed a kind devotee like Arjun. Although it is not mentioned here, still one can easily imagine that not only were Arjuna's bodily limbs quivering and his mouth drying up, but he was also crying out of compassion. Such symptoms in Arjun were not due to weakness, but to his soft-heartedness, a characteristic of pure devotee of the Lord. It is said, therefore, Yashasti Bhaktir Bhagavatya Atirichana सर्वैर्गुणैस्तत्र समासते सुरा हराव अभक्तास्य कुतो महद्गुणा मनोरथेनासति धावतो बहि. Personality of Godhead has all the good qualities of the demigods, but one who is not a devotee of Lord has only material qualifications that are of little value. This is because he is hovering on the mental plane and is certain to be attracted by the glaring material energy. Bhagavad Gita 5.28.12.
okay. So can you please explain what exactly you have understood by this?
Yes, Mataji. Here Prabhupada is explaining that one who is the devotee of Lord, one who has the unflinching faith for Lord, he is compassionate to all. He sees everyone as equal and be compassionate for all. And he is the one who has all the qualifications. And the material people, they have only degrees, qualifications in this material world and have no compassion, no mercy in their heart.
Okay, so he is feeling compassion even towards Kauravas. Not only, isn't it, everyone in the battlefield who is about to die, isn't it? So such type of a weakness is not because of this soft-heartedness, but it is because it's one of the characteristic of a pure devotee, isn't it? And
Yes, Mataji.
yeah, and one who has an unflinching devotion for the personality of the Godhead, Lord Krishna. So there are 64 qualities of Lord Krishna, which a devotee has to inculcate. That we will come to in our next level 3. And and one who is not a devotee of a Lord and has only material qualification, they are not of any, they add any value to the life. So it is always required how much ever we study, we possess, and we have any material possession, it is always required because everything is possessed by Krishna, everything is given by Krishna. We should always be considerate towards doing service towards the Lord Krishna. So that is the first and foremost characteristic of a devotee. Yes. Hare Krishna. Amit wanted to read now. Yes, please, Ma.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
बेपथुष्य शारीरे में रामहर्षस्य
Roma.
जायते
Roma.
रोमहर्षस्य जायते.
See, I'll tell you a trick, if you're not able to read from me, you can read the synonym. Vepatu cha sarire me Roma harsha cha jayate. Okay?
जी. गन्धेवं सरासस्ते हस्तात् तावक सा एव परिदयते.
Yeah.
Translation. My whole body is trembling. My
Your
hair
voice is little low.
standing. Ji, Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
My whole body is trembling. My hair is standing on end. My bow Ganjiva is slipping from my hand and my skin is burning. Papat. There are two kinds of trembling of the body and two kinds of standing of hair on end. Such phenomena occur either in great spiritual ecstasy or out of great fear under material conditions. There is no fear in transcendental realization. Arjuna's symptoms in the situation are out of material fear, namely loss of life. This is in other symptoms of he became so impatient that his famous bow Gandiva was slipping from his hands, and because his heart was burning within him, he was feeling a burning sensation of the skin. All these are due to a material conception of life. Hare Krishna.
Can you explain? What did you understand by this? Okay. So, two kind of situation when the body tremble and the hair will stand on and in a material plane as well as a spiritual plane. Material plane means something we are losing on it and we are not happy with that, and something very frightful situation and a fearful situation, that sort of situation it does happen. But whereas in a spiritual realm, so it's totally different. Okay. Next, Hare Krishna. I think Ishan, it's your turn again.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Yeah, Hare Krishna.
Nacha Sakno Aste Teham Baram Bhamtiva Cha Me Mana Nimi Nimi Nimityani Cha Pasyami Vipartani Kasyabha. Translation: I am now unable to stand here any longer. I am forgetting myself and mind is reeling. I see only causes of misfortune. O Krishna, kill Kesi demon. For due and intelligence, Arjuna stay the battlefield, himself account of weakness, excess attachment for material things puts a man in such a bewildering existence. Bhayam Divitya Bhina.
Syat.
Mataji, please.
Yeah. Dvitiyabhi
Div
abhiniveshatah.
Divya Bhasya
Dvit. Yeah.
Such
Okay, you can leave it. When you feel difficulty, you can leave it. You can only read the translation part. Yeah, the purport. Such fearfulness. Yeah.
Mataji, can I?
What happened, Ishan? Network is lagging. Okay. Okay. Yes. Yes, Amit, you can read.
Okay. Such fearfulness and loss of mental equilibrium take place in persons who are too affected by material conditions. Arjuna envisioned only painful reverses in the battlefield. He would not be happy even by gaining victory over the foe. The words nimittani viparitani are significant. When a man sees only frustration in the expectations, he thinks, why am I here? Everyone is interested in himself and his own welfare. No one is interested in the Supreme Self. Arjuna is showing ignorance of his real self-interest by Krishna's will. One's real self-interest lies in Vishnu or Krishna. The conditioned soul forgets this and therefore suffers material pains. Arjuna thought that his victory in the battle would only be a cause of lamentation for him.
Yeah. Hare Krishna. So here Arjuna is feeling lost and his mind is reeling. He's not happy with whatever the outcome of this, because in the war many people will die and you'll get a kingdom at the end. But everything looks very painful. He's not interested in all these things. And but Krishna will is that they should go for the war. He can't do anything, but he's feeling not good for all this. What's happening? Yeah. Next, I think Kritika.
Yes, Mataji. न च श्रेयानुपश्यामि हत्वा स्वजनमाहवे न काङ्क्षे विजयं कृष्ण न च राज्यं सुखानि च. Translation: I do not see how any good can come from killing my own kinsmen in the battle, nor can I, my dear Krishna, desire any subsequent victory, kingdom, or happiness? Wherefore, without knowing that one's self-interest is in Vishnu or Krishna, conditioned souls are attracted by bodily relationships, hoping to be in such situations. In such a blind conception of life, they forget even the cause of material happiness. Arjuna appears to have even forgotten the moral codes for a Kshatriya. It is said that, Mataji, can 1 minute I mute myself?
Yeah, no problem.
Sorry.
Yeah, no issue. Okay. Can somebody else want to read it? Meanwhile,
Yes, Mataji.
yes, continue.
In such a blind conception of life, they forget even the causes of material happiness. Arjuna appears to have even forgotten the moral codes for Shastriya. It is said that two kinds of men, namely the Shastriya who dies directly in front of the battlefield under Krishna's personal orders, and the person in the renounced order of life who is absolutely devoted to spiritual culture, are eligible to enter into the sun globe, which is so powerful and dazzling. Arjuna is reluctant even to kill his enemies, let alone his relatives. He thinks that by killing his kinsmen, there would be no happiness in the life, and therefore he is not willing to fight. Just as a person who does not feel hunger is
He's not inclined to cook.
decided to go decided to go
Check your
into the
volume,
forest.
it is low.
Sorry, Mataji. And therefore he is not willing to fight, just as a person who does not feel hunger is not inclined to cook. He has now decided to go into the forest and live a secluded, secluded life in frustration. But as a Shastriya, he requires a kingdom for his subs- subsistence, because the Shastriyas cannot engage themselves in any other occupation. But Arjuna has no kingdom. Arjuna's sole opportunity for gaining a kingdom lies in fighting with his cousins and brothers and reclaiming the kingdom inherited from his father, which he does not like to do. Therefore, he considers himself fit to go to the forest to live a secluded life of frustration.
Yeah. Here he is not interested in killing his own kinsmen, and he don't want anything which comes out of killing his own people. He's feeling extended compassion. He has forgotten himself that he's a Kshatriya because he's in a stressed situation. He has so whenever we are in a stressed situation, we our intelligence will go out of us, and we may act in a different way, like not a person as we are. Okay, similarly here, Arjuna is also feeling like I don't want to go for the war and get anything which comes out of this war and all. Rather, I would go to the forest and live a life in a seclusion. Okay, he's thinking like that. Yeah, Hare Krishna. Kritika, are you ready to read it?
Yes, Mataji.
Yeah.
Mataji, can you please show me Marathi or Sanskrit?
Okay, no problem. Yes,
Bhagavad
ma'am.
Gita 1.32 to
Hmm.
35. किं नो राज्येन गोविन्द किं भोगैर्जीवितेन वा येषामर्थे काङ्क्षितं नो राज्यं भोगा सुखानि च त इमेव स्थिता युद्धे प्राणास्त्यक्त्वा धनानि च आचार्याः पितरः पुत्रास् तथैव च पितामहाः मातुलाः श्वशुराः पौत्राः शालाः सम्बन्धिनस्तथा एतान्न हन्तुमिच्छामि घ्नतोऽपि मधुसूदन अपि त्रैलोक्यराजस्य हेतोः किं नु मही कृते निहत्य धार्तराष्ट्रान्नः का प्रीतिः स्यात् जनार्दन.
Very well recited, ma. Please keep it up. I can read the translation.
Yes, ma'am. Translation. O Govinda, of what avail to us our kingdom, happiness, or even life itself, when all those for whom we may desire them are now arrayed on this battlefield. O Madhusudan, when teachers, fathers, sons, grandfathers, maternal uncles, father-in-law, grandsons, brothers-in-law, and other relatives are ready to give up their lives and properties and are standing before me, why should I wish to kill them, even though they might otherwise kill me? O maintainer of all living entities, I am not prepared to fight with them, even in exchange for the three worlds, let alone this world, earth. What pleasure will we derive from killing the sons of Dhritarashtra? Purport. Arjuna has addressed Lord Krishna as Govinda because Krishna is the object of pleasures for cows and the senses. By using the significant word, Arjuna indicates that Krishna should understand what will satisfy Arjuna's senses. But Govinda is not meant for satisfying our senses. If we try to satisfy the senses of Govinda, however, then automatically our own senses are satisfied. Materially, everyone wants to satisfy its senses and he wants God to be the order supplier for such satisfaction. The Lord will satisfy the senses of all living entities as much as they deserve, but not to the extent that they make of it. But when one takes the opposite way, namely, when one tries to satisfy the senses of Govinda without desiring to satisfy one's own senses, then by the grace of Govinda, all desires of living entity are satisfied. Arjuna's deep affection for community and family members is exhibited here partly due to his natural compassion for them. He is therefore not prepared to fight. Everyone wants to show his opulence to friends and relatives, but Arjuna fears that all his relatives and friends will be killed on the battlefield and he will be unable to share his opulence after victory. This is a typical calculation of material life. The transcendental life, however, is different. Since a devotee wants to satisfy the desire of the Lord, he can, Lord willing, accept all kinds of opulences for the service of Lord, and if the Lord is not willing, he should not accept a farthing. Arjun did not want to kill his relatives, and if there were any need to kill them, he desired that Krishna kill them personally. At this point, he did not know that Krishna had already killed them before their coming into the battlefield, and that he was only to become an instrument for Krishna. This fact is disclosed in the following chapters. As a natural devotee of Lord, Arjun did not like to retaliate against his miscreant cousins and brothers, but it was the Lord's plan that they should all be killed. The devotee of Lord does not retaliate against the wrongdoer, but the Lord does not tolerate any mischief done to the devotee by the miscreants. The Lord can excuse a person on his own account, but he excuses no one who can done harm to his devotees. Therefore, the Lord was determined to kill the miscreants although Arjuna wanted to excuse them.
Hare Krishna. Okay. So here, I think it is clear, Arjuna is feeling compassionate towards his own people. And he says, in general, all of us will think if we have some achievement, we want to share among our family members. When such family members are all not there, so what is the type of celebration you going to have? So that is a person who is on a material plane. But people who are there in a, like devotees who are in a transcendental plane, on a spiritual plane, they will think like this is an order of a Lord. Okay, Krishna will not spare anybody. Okay, especially the people who have done harm to the his devotees. So even that is his order. Krishna will say to Arjuna, like, do your work. He'll be saying the same thing throughout of Bhagavad Gita, because in turn the Duryodhana and the extended members, they did a lot of adharma, and they have literally troubled Pandavas by many means. Okay, so they don't deserve to stay back on this earth. So it is better to weed off these weeds from the root. So that's what is the Lord's plan. Next, Hare Krishna, Ishan.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Papam avasar
Eva Shrayedashman.
papam evas saryadam asam had hadbhaitam bhaitan
Atataniya.
atataniya tasman narha bhayam hantum dhritarashtra and sa
Bandhavan.
bandhavan savha janam hi kantham
Swajanam hi katham hatva.
so sokuniya sama
Shyama Madhava. Okay.
translations.
Yeah.
Okay, sin will overcome us if we slay such
Aggressors.
aggressors, and there it is not aggressors, and therefore it is not proper for us to kill the sons of Dhritarashtra and our friends. What should we gain? Krishna, have the goddess of fortune, and how could we be happy by killing killing our own kinsmen
This is very, very
purpose?
important. See,
According to
any point of time, we should not forgive 6 offenses anybody is doing towards anyone. Okay. So here they are pointing out this. Yes. Yes, please study, ma.
according to Vedic injunctions, there are 6 kind of aggressors. 1, poison giver. 2, one who sets fire to the house. 1 who attacks with the deadly weapon. 4, one who plunders riches. 5, one who occupies another land. And 6, one who kidnaps a wife. Such aggressors are at once to be killed, and no sin is incurred by killing such aggressors. Such killing of aggressors is quite befitting and any ordinary man. But Arjuna was not an ordinary person. He was saintly saint- saintly by character, and therefore he wanted to deal with them in saintliness. Mm, this kind of saintliness, however, is not for the Kshatriya,
Kshatriya.
Kshatriya, although a responsible man is in the administration of a state is required to be saintly. He should not be cowardly. For example, Lord was a
Rama.
saintly that people even now and anxious to live in the kingdom Lord Rama, but Lord Rama never showed any cowardice. Ravana was an aggressor against Rama because Ravana kidnapped Rama's wife Sita, but Lord Rama gave him sufficient lessons, unparalleled in the history of the world. In Arjuna's case, however, one should consider in a special type of aggressors, namely his own grandfather, own teacher, friends, sons, grandsons, etc. Because of them, Arjuna thought that he should not take the several steps necessary against ordinary aggressors. Besides that, saintly persons are advised to forgive. Such injunctions for saintly persons are more important than any political emergency. Arjuna considered that rather than kill his own kinsmen for political reasons, it would be better to forgive them on grounds of religion and saintly behavior. He did not therefore consider such killing profitable simply for the matter of temporary bodily happiness. After all, kingdoms and pleasures derived therefrom are not permanent. So why should he risk his life and eternal salvation and by killing his own kinsman? Arjuna's Arjuna's addressing of Krishna as Madhava or the husband of all goddess of fortune is also significant. In his action, he wanted to point out to Krishna as the husband of all goddess of fortune. He should not induce her to take up a matter which would ultimately bring about misfortune. Krishna, however, never brings misfortune to say nothing of his duties. Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna. So, six types of aggressors, like a poison giver, one who set a fire to the house, one who attacks with the deadly weapons, and one who plundered the riches, one who occupies another land, and one who kidnap a wife. If any person is doing such offense, they should never ever be excused, and there is no harm in, and there is no sin incurred by killing these people. That's what Krishna is saying to Arjuna. So, whatever position they may be, in relationship with you, but it is always better to get rid of such a person. Okay. Hare Krishna. Next, I think a few more are there. Yeah, Amit. Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna Mataji.
Yeah, Hare Krishna.
यदापि एतेन पश्यन्ति लोभ उपहता शिक्षा
Please raise your
कुलाशय
volume. Check your
क्रम
mic once, please.
दोष any
Yeah.
problem Mataji?
Yeah, I think little bit more. Try to keep it near.
Now it is clear ma'am Mataji? Now
Yeah.
it's clear.
Okay. Yeah.
ठीक है दोषम मित्रद्रोहे शापताकं कथम न जनायम. What is Mataji?
Jneyam asmabhihi.
अस्मभिः पापत् अस्मात् निवारितातं कुलक्षयकत्रं दोषं prapashyadhi prapashadhaidhi Janardana. Translation: O Janardana, although these men, their hearts overtaken by greed, see no fault in killing one's family or quarreling with friends, why should we, who can see the crime in destroying a family, engage in these acts of sin? Papat. A Sastriya is not supposed to refuse to battle or gamble when he is so invited by some rival party under such an obligation. Arjuna could not refuse to fight because he had been challenged by the party of Duryodhana. In this connection, Arjuna considered that the other party might be blind to the effects of such a challenge. Arjuna, however, could see the evil consequences and could not accept the challenge. Obligation is actually binding when the effect is good, but when the effect is otherwise, then no one can be bound. Considering all these pros and cons, Arjuna decided not to fight. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So all this, yeah, Kshatriya is not supposed to refuse the work. And here, whatever, so he is refusing. Arjuna is refusing to fight because he has been challenged by the Duryodhana. Somehow, seeing all the kinsmen who are his near and dear relatives, so he don't feel to move forward. Okay, so whatever, he has something in his mind, he's weighing all the pros and cons. Now he think, no, I should not go for the war. So what do you say, we'll continue here and we'll complete all these slokas? I think 7, 8 are there, or we will skip the slokas and read the translation and purport. Hare Krishna.
No, Mataji.
Hmm?
Read the slokas and translation and the purport as
Okay, okay, fine then. Please start. Continue.
well. Not much as well.
Yeah, please continue.
Can I?
Yes.
Ma'am, Sanskrit is okay.
Yeah, okay.
Kulaksaye pranasanti kula dharmaha sanatanaha dharma naste kulang Krishna dharmaha vivi batut.
Adharmaha.
Translation:
Hmm.
adharmaha kulah dharma vivi batut.
Abhiva. See, you can
Translation:
read this. You can, these synonyms are there, no? Kulakshaye pranashyanti, kula dharma sanatana, dharme nashte kulam krishnam, adharma abhivati uta. Okay? Yeah.
Translation: with the destruction of the dynasty, the eternal family tradition is vanquished, and thus the rest of the family becomes involved in irreligion. Purport: in the system of the Varnasrama institution, there are many principles of religious traditions to help members of the family grow properly and attain spiritual values. The either members are responsible for such purifying processes in the family, beginning from birth to death. But on the death of the elder members, such family traditions or purification may stop, and the remaining younger family members may develop irreligious habits and thereby lose their chance for spiritual salvation. Therefore, for no purpose should the elder members of the family be slain.
Hare Krishna. So in the Varnashrama Institute, there are certain rituals which has to be performed as an elder of the family. If all the men in the family are dead, he's worried that all those tradition will be lost. Hare Krishna. Kritika, next.
Bhagavad Gita 1.40 Adharmabhivavat Krishna Pradushanti Kulastriyaha Strishu Drishta Suvarshnaya Jayate Varna Sankara. Translation: when irreligion is prominent in the family, O Krishna, the women of the family become polluted, and from the degradation of womanhood, O descent of Krishna, come unwanted pressure comes. Purport: good population in human society is the basic principle for peace, prosperity, and spiritual progress in life. The Varnashram religion's principle were so designed that the good population would prevail in the society for the general spiritual progress of the state and community. Such population depends on the chastity and faithfulness of its womanhood. As children are very prone to be misled, women are similarly very prone to degradation. Therefore, both children and women require protection by the elder members of the family. By being engaged in various religious practices, women will not be misled into adultery. According to Chanakya Pandit, women are generally not very intelligent and therefore not trustworthy. So, the different family traditions of religious activities should always engage them, and thus their chastity and devotion will give birth to a good population eligible for participating in the Varnashram system. On the failure of such Varnashram dharma, naturally the women become free to act and mix with men, and thus adultery indulged in at the risk of unwanted population. Irresponsibly, irresponsible men also provoke adultery in society, and thus unwanted children flood the human race at the risk of war and pestilence.
Yeah. What happened when there is a war, when all the men in the family are killed and they are dead, the women will become unprotected and they will be taken over by another man, and the adultery will be on the rise and they'll have a kids, and those kids don't have a proper father who can take care of them and give the traditional values and everything, and cultivate whatever the love and affection which has to be given on the part of a father will not be there. So Arjuna is thinking here, so I'll be the reason for all such which is happening like this. So I don't want to be the reason for such things. So it's better I don't go for the war. That's what is in the mind of Arjuna. Yes, Hare Krishna. Next, Ishan, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Sankaro Narakaiva Kula Gunaham Kulasecha Patanti Pitaro He Isam Lipto Pindo Pindodhaka Kriya.
Yeah.
Translation: an increase of unwanted population certainly causes hell both the family those who destroy the family tradition. The ancestors fall down because the performance of offering them food and water are entirely stopped. Purpose: according to the rules and regulations of productive activities, there is a need to offer periodical food and water to the forefathers of the family. This offering is performed by worship of Vishnu because eating the remnants of food offered to Vishnu can deliver one from all kinds of sinful activities and sinful reactions. Sometimes the forefathers may be suffering from the various types of sinful reactions, and sometimes some of them cannot even acquire gross material body and are forced to remain in the subtle bodies as ghosts. Thus, when remnants of prasadam food are offered to forefathers of by descendants, uh, the forefathers are released from ghost, ghostly or other kinds of miserable life. Such help rendered to forefathers is a family tradition, and those who are not in devotional life are required to perform such rituals. One who is engaged in devotional life is not required to perform such actions. Simply by performing devotional service, one can deliver hundreds and thousands of forefathers from all kinds of misery. It is stated in the Bhagavatam. Hare Krishna Maharaj.
Yeah, Bhagavatam 11th canto, 5th chapter, 41 sloka. Devarshi Bhutapa Nrinam Pritram Naking Karonayam Rinicha Rajan Sarvatmanaya Saranam Sharanyam Gato Mukundam Parihyakartam.
Anyone who has taken shelter of the lotus feet of Mukunda, the giver of liberation, giving up all kinds of obligations, and has taken to the path of all seriousness, owes neither duties nor obligations to the demigods, sages, general living entities, family members, humankind, or forefathers. Such obligations are automatically fulfilled by performance of devotional service to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna. So yeah, our ancestors will be waiting. When we'll offer the prasadams, you have this. Now that we have the Pitru karmas, which is scheduled in the month of, mostly comes in the month of September. So they'll be eagerly waiting when the our younger generation people will offer some karma and all. So unless there is a father in the family, they are following the traditions and they are offering the food to the Lord. It goes as per the Varnashrama Dharma. When there is no proper men in the family, no father for the kids, and not able to follow the traditions which are there, if they have forget all the tradition, what they have to do it, then all of them will remain as a ghost. They'll be waiting, like if they haven't, if the younger generation fail to do so, the soul is once liberated, they will not get another body. So not doing the Pitrikarma, all these things are affected. So Arjuna thinks, is it worth on my part to fight and kill all these men in the war? Hare Krishna. Yes, next. I think somebody by name Tapatya Das. Hare Krishna, you would like to participate? Hare Krishna. Tapatya. Hare Krishna. Okay, fine. I think Amit, you can continue, ma.
Yes, Mataji. Dosaya etaya kula gunam
Kula
varna
Jnanam.
sankara
Kula Jnanam. Varna
kula
Sankara.
kula jnanam varna sankara karakahi utsadayante jati dharma kula dharma cha sat shashbhata. Translation: by the evil deeds of those who destroy the family tradition and thus give rise to unwanted children, all kinds of community projects and family welfare activities and devastated. Papat. Community projects for the four orders of human society combined with family welfare activities as they are set forth by the institution of Sanatana Dharma or Varnasrama Dharma are designed to enable the human being to attain his ultimate salvation. Therefore, the breaking of the Sanatana Dharma tradition by irresponsible leaders of society brings about chaos in the society, and consequently people forget the aim of life. Vishnu, such leaders are called blind, and persons who follow such leaders are sure to be led into chaos.
Yeah, the same thing as we have discussed. We don't follow, there is no Varnashrama Dharma, means all the traditions will be lost, and the society will be in the chaos. Next. Hare Krishna, you can continue, Amit.
Utashanna kula dharmanam manushyanam janardana narake niyatam vashaha bhavati iti anusramo. Translation. O Krishna, maintainer of the people, I have heard by disciplined succession that those whose family traditions are destroyed dwell always in hell. Puppet. Arjuna bases his argument not on his own personal experience, but on what he has heard from the authorities, that it the way of receiving real knowledge. One cannot reach the real point of factual knowledge without being helped by the right person who is already established in that knowledge. There is a system in the Varnasrama institution by which before death one has to undergo the process of atonement for his sinful activities. On he is always engaged in sinful activities must utilize the process of atonement called prayashchita.
Hmm.
Without doing so, on surely will be transferred to hellish planets to undergo miserable lives as the result of sinful activities. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So that's what. So unless one is engaged in, I told you, the liberated souls of our forefathers will remain there. So unless a father take the responsibility of doing the tradition and all, it is not. It's impossible to direct a woman to do something. So a family should be there to do the pitrikarmas and all. So that's what. So Arjuna thinks by doing for a war, I am going to be the responsible for all those things. Is it necessary on my part? Hare Krishna. Yes, Ishan.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Aho bata mahat papam kartum भयस्भीत भयं यद् राज्य सुख लभेन हन्तुं स्वजनम् उद्यत. Also, how strange it is that we are preparing to commit greatly sinful acts, driven by the desire to enjoy royal happiness. We are intent on killing our own kinsmen. Purpose, driven by selfish motives, one may incline to such sinful acts as the killing of one's own brother, father, or mother. Mm, There are many such instances in the history of the world, but Arjuna, being saintly devotee of the Lord, is always conscious of moral principle and therefore takes care to avoid such activities.
Hare Krishna.
Okay.
Yeah, he is thinking again. Arjuna is same. What his thought process is been explained here. So he feels that he is committing sin by killing all these people. Yeah. Thing. You can continue, Ishan.
Mm, या- यदि मम अप्रतिकरम as ashastaram shastra panaya dhatrashtraya rane hane hanas tane me kesam kesame
Kshema.
taram bhavat
Tanne kshema taram bhavet.
sema taram bhavat. Okay, Mataji. Translation: better for me if the sons of Dhritarashtra, weapons in hand, were to kill me unarmed and unresisting on the battlefield. Purport: it is the custom according to Kshatriya fighting principles that an armed and unwilling foe be attacked. Arjuna, however, decided even attacked by the enemy in such of the awkward position, he did not fight. He did how the party was bent upon fighting. All these symptoms are due to soft heartedness resulting from his being a great
So,
Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So here Arjuna is a pure devotee. So he's so soft-hearted and he's feeling compassionate, isn't it? No, he don't want to go for the war. So let me become Annam. Let Duryodhana kill me. I don't mind, but I don't want to go for the war. That's what Arjuna is saying to Lord Krishna. Yes. Amit?
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Eva mukta varjanaha sankhe rathapascha upavisat.
So I'll help you out. Sanjay Uvacha. You can
Sanjay
repeat after.
Vacha.
Eva Muktvārjuna Sankhye
Eva mukta varjana sankhe
Ratopasta Upavisat
rathapastha upavisat.
Visrijya Sasaram Chapam
Repeat.
Visrijya Sasaram Chapam
I cannot hear out now.
Visrijya
Visrijya
Sasaram Chapam
sasaram chapam
Soka Sambhigna Manasa.
soka sambhigna manasha. Translation: Sanjay said, Arjuna, having thus spoken on the battlefield, cast aside his bow and arrows and sat down on the chariot, his mind overwhelmed with grief. Purport: while observing the situation of his enemy, Arjuna stood up on the chariot but was so afflicted with lamentation that he sat down again. Setting aside his bow and arrows, such a kind and soft hearted person in the devotional service of the Lord is fit to receive self knowledge. Thus end the Bhaktivedanta purports to the first chapter of the Srimad Bhagavad Gita in the matter of observing the armies on the battlefield of Kurukshetra. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So now Arjuna, Sanjay is concluding. So Arjuna being spoken this on the battlefield, he keep his Gandiva aside, the bow aside, and he'll sit down in the chariot and he'll start grieving, like he'll be weeping like a small child. He feels so much compassion towards the people who are in a war field, and he says, no, I don't want to go for the war. Let Duryodhana attack me. I will go to the forest. Whatever happens, see, I don't want to be the cause for all this destruction and all. So he has so many things are there in his mind, and he's such a soft-hearted person. And this is a good quality of a devotee. This make Arjuna eligible to listen to Bhagavad Gita from Lord Krishna. So this end the first chapter. Hare Krishna. Thank you so much. Hope you enjoyed reading the word to word, line to line by Srila Prabhupada purports. Hare Krishna. Is it good or the presentation is good?
Yes, Mataji.
Hmm?
Absolutely flying.
Pardon?
Presentation. Absolutely
Presentation
fine
is,
presentation.
no. I'm telling yesterday we have I have taken a class on presentation. Is the presentation, PowerPoint presentation is good, or it is good if you read directly from the Bhagavad Gita?
No, it is good. It is good.
Okay,
From
fine.
the Veda Vesha.
Yeah, okay, fine. Hare Krishna, will conclude. Anybody knows in Narsimharti?
No, Mataji.
Yeah, be prepared with that, because in the coming classes, I think one by one you people have to recite. For today, I will do it. Okay. Namaste Narasimhaya Praladadaine Hiranyakashi Porvakshaha Shilatankhanakhalaye Ito Narsimha Parato Narsimha Yato Yato Yami Tato Narsimha Bahir Narsimha Hridaye Narsimha Narasimhamadim Sharanam Prapadye Tava Karakamalavare Nakam Adbhuta Shringam Dalita Hiranyakashipu Tanubringam Keshavadrita Narahari Rupa Jai Jagadish Hare Jaya Jagadish Hare Jaya Jagadish Hare Jaya Narsimhadev Jaya Narsimhadev Narsimhadev Jaya Narsimhadev Jaya Prahlad Maharaj Prahlad Maharaj Prahlad Maharaj Jaya Prahlad Maharaj Jaya Jaya Prabhupada 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Bolo Nitai Gaura Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Nitai Gaura Hari Bol Pancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya eva cha Patitanam Pavadebhyo Vaishnavabhyo Namo Namaha. Thank you, co-host and participants, for your active participation. See you all next weekend at 8 p.m. Hare Krishna.
Hare